How long it will take for Nvidia's stock to reach $800 is the current question. Find out by watching the entire video. Since earnings season is almost over, let's just extend this to all of technology. It seems like we're in a calm phase while we wait for Nvidia next week, even though I know we have a lot of corporate software companies and cybersecurity organizations. Based on what we've observed, have anybody changed their Nvidia numbers? As you can see, Nvidia's statistics increased somewhat even though Microsoft provided solid guidance on Azure growth for the second half. However, it all boils down to listening to Jensen at Nvidia, the godfather of AI. It will, in my opinion, be a jaw-dropping event and another confirmation of the future of AI spending. It only displays the haves and have-nots, despite worries about a value trap. Intel is basically the dog ate my homework. Then there's the godfather Jensen, who wears a black leather jacket. It would be an understatement to say that they are now having difficulty finding their way. Although other software brands will be included in the upcoming generation, big tech is becoming more powerful in the AI revolution when it comes to Nvidia and Microsoft. The key query at this point is when Nvidia will reach $800. Although it's an ambitious goal, it's not completely impossible considering their current velocity and superiority in AI. I'm optimistic about their future, but we'll have to wait and see. Let's monitor their financial reports and any significant advancements in AI. They might occur sooner rather than later, but 2028 is the earliest possible date. For their newest accelerators, Nvidia and AMD are clearly following the same one-year cycle path. On the other side, AMD has an advantage here. By the end of this year, they may capture 10 to 15% of the high-end total data center GPU market. And if Nvidia has some setbacks next year, they may perhaps capture as much as 20%. Those, in my opinion, are two important variables to monitor. Given some of the packaging complications we're seeing with CUSA L and B200, we're hearing delays of 4 to 6 months. Therefore, a realistic estimate for when we can begin anticipating large deployments or utilization within data centers is about mid-2025. Are investors growing increasingly concerned about Nvidia's potential problems? I find it refreshing that tech earnings are slowing down and that the devil is now in the data. For the most part this year, the market has been fairly complacent. It goes without saying that the fall from 2.5 to 3 weeks ago continued into Monday, with poorer tech guidance and a dismal jobs report. All of it was made worse by the yen carry trade, and the market lost its cool. The market has responded favorably to the data, which has somewhat improved in recent weeks with some quite strong figures. Jackson Hole and the rest of the tech earnings will be the focus of everyone's attention going forward. You shouldn't proceed carelessly just because you've received praise for it in the past year or two. Right now, I would advise investors to take a close look at what is driving this company rather than merely Nvidia's amazing bull market, subsequent fall, and quick turnaround. I believe that the enormous expenditure on Nvidia's AI chips is still what's driving it. The decline was a result of worries that they would experience problems with their next generation of chips or that spending might slow down. Recent data figures indicate that AI spending isn't slowing down, which is reflected in the rebound. Can you name a specific catalyst? Foxconn last week, of course. They claimed that, thanks in large part to AI servers, things are going incredibly well, and that the remainder of their year looks fantastic. The biggest collaborator on Nvidia's new Blackwell chips is Foxconn. Go back a little farther to Supermicro, another significant Nvidia client. Despite having a difficult quarter because of gross margins, they had good sales and guidance. The Blackwell chip came up. There have been worries about the delay. Does it affect the story of Nvidia's overall growth? It most definitely doesn't in the short run. Given the previous quarter and the one that is coming up, Blackwell was never going to account for a significant amount of future income. Nvidia needs to make sure that any delays are minor rather than big, but they've done so well that, if they continue on their current trajectory, I don't think it matters. Regarding the larger chip market, I've been following the 13Fs and have seen a lot of activity from chip makers other than Nvidia. For other businesses in the industry, I see green flags. Could you discuss the industry's future prospects and the specific businesses you find appealing? Without a doubt, I believe that everyone is dedicated to investing in AI through the Blackwell launch. so we should expect to see higher AI investment for another year or longer. This will cause other businesses to follow suit. Nvidia is not the only one. On the fantastic side, its TSM, high bandwidth memory, HBM, is necessary to support these new semiconductors, which benefits Micron. AI generates data, which helps businesses like Seagate and Western Digital. Thus, you need more storage. Currently, the AI complex is the focus of much of the boost. If AI spreads to edge devices, which would need more content and help a large portion of the semiconductor industry, we might see another uptick the following year. Do you anticipate a significant rotation for these companies, or do you anticipate similarly drastic moves? Well, John, we've already witnessed some impressive large-cap moves. In just 8 trading days, Nvidia has increased almost 40%. People who claim that the Russell 2000, which is composed of cheaper companies, cannot increase by 40% over the next 5 months are ignoring the fact that the megacaps have already seen significant movements. For it to occur, I don't believe the megacaps need to drop. Will the entire market change, or do you think the small caps will move separately? A 40% move in small caps, in my opinion, does not always indicate that the market as a whole will decline. It emphasizes that, as we all anticipate, the market is expanding. A risk-reward analysis is also being conducted. If you can increase earnings by 18% and pay 10 times earnings, that's an excellent risk-reward. If the Fed starts lowering interest rates, money sitting on the sidelines or in bonds may move, and investors may seek for small-cap stocks since they offer a strong risk-reward ratio. Are there additional hazards, or do you require significant rate decreases for that argument to succeed? A recession would be bad. The Fed doesn't need to make significant cutbacks, in my opinion. Real interest rates of 5.5% with inflation of 2% would be the market story for small-cap stocks. Small caps would be greatly impacted if rates return to a neutral 3%. Let me now ask you about the consumer and mega caps. How significant will Nvidia's results be for the entire market story, not just small caps, next week? Nvidia is significant because it supports the drive for productivity through automation and digital tools that is propelling the American economy. American businesses are leading this disinflationary trend. Thus, it's really crucial. Additionally, Nvidia's stock isn't demanding at 26 times forward earnings. I believe Nvidia is still a long-term investment. Thus, I wouldn't advise selling it to acquire small caps. Blackwell is just such a surge in terms of demand. A number of things are taking place. The foundation model creators themselves, the model's parameter counts are increasing from hundreds of billions to trillions. Additionally, they are learning more languages. In addition to learning human language, they are also learning the language of sounds, images, movies, and even 3D graphics. When kids acquire these languages, they are able to both produce what is requested of them and comprehend what they observe. Proteins, chemistry, and physics, fluids, particle physics, etc., are the languages they are learning. They are learning a variety of languages, or what we refer to as modalities. But in essence, they are learning languages. Therefore, compared to a year ago, there are now more model creators. These models are getting bigger, and they are learning from more data. All these various modalities have led to a significant increase in the number of model manufacturers. That's only one. The foundation model creators themselves have experienced significant growth. The market for generative AI has since expanded significantly, moving from internet service providers to startups, and now businesses and nations are joining the fray. As a result, demand is actually rising. Nvidia is advancing on the